Shut up and move on. That's what they're telling you, the Democrats, the media, the establishment. Shut up and move on. It's time for unity. Oh, is it? Is it really? I don't recall them shutting up and moving on after 2016. I don't remember much unity on their part these last 4 years. It's been the exact opposite. 4 years of non-stop hate, harassment and resistance. They didn't shut up. They screamed, literally. This was Yoko Ono's message as a response to Donald Trump. I'm sorry, you gotta laugh. Until 2016, I thought Primal Scream was a band that made one of my favorite albums, but suddenly Primal Scream was the left's reaction to Trump. Obama's top aide, David Axelrod, called the whole election a Primal Scream. In California, quote, students organized a primal scream in the quad at 2 a.m. Many students all over campus have been publicly sobbing in and out of class, and quite a few are dressed in all black. My Chinese class this morning was essentially a crying session. At Yale, an election primal scream organized by the freshman outdoor orientation leaders took place outside Sterling Memorial Library. The scream offered students a chance to come together, process the shock of the moment. Nobody told them to shut up and move on. In fact, our ridiculous establishment leaders indulged all this nonsense. Stanford University cancelled classes and offered its students counselling sessions. Janet Napolitano, head of the University of California, sent out an official message reassuring those feeling understandable consternation. She was in charge of Homeland Security under Obama. No wonder our borders went to you-know-what. The media didn't smear and dismiss people protesting the 2016 results. They celebrated them. Remember the safety pins? Perhaps the most pathetic political protest of all time. In the wake of the election, many are wearing safety pins in silent protest. Look at this poor woman wearing her safety pin today and until people I know and love can feel safe again. Vain Hollywood celebrities were desperately doing it, of course, like Star Trek's Patrick Stewart. Not to be left out of the intergalactic virtue signaling. One of the writers of the Star Wars movie, Rogue One, joined in too. Star Wars against hate, he tweeted powerfully. Oh, for goodness sake. I don't think there are enough eye-roll emojis in the known universe to capture how utterly ridiculous that was. And after all the screaming and crying and counselling and safety pins, the Democrats didn't move on. They never accepted the election outcome. They backed recounts in battleground states. They boycotted the Trump inauguration. They plotted to impeach him from day one. They brazenly declared that Trump is not my president, not my president. Oh, but Hillary conceded, we're told. She did the decent thing. She upheld democratic norms. Really? How is this conceding?
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
How does making one 20-minute speech the day after the election erase 4 years of insisting that she was the rightful winner? And it wasn't just Hillary. Here's Jimmy Carter, Jerry Nadler, the preposterous Ted Lieu.
He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered on his behalf.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I've created an illegitimacy clock. It's on my website. If you look at it, it tells you how many days and hours Donald Trump has been illegitimate as president.
Have you ever seen such shamelessness, telling you to shut up and move on days, weeks after the election, when they never moved on after 2016? Biden's shamelessness, demanding you accept his legitimacy when he never accepted President Trump's. This was Biden just last year.
He is an illegitimate president in my mind.
Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
What planet are they on with their clueless calls for unity? They haven't got the first idea how angry half the country is with the way they behaved. Do they think we've forgotten this?
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Not just the Democrats, but their stooges in the media, in Silicon Valley. Remember the video of the Google company meeting that was obtained by Breitbart? Founder Sergey Brin compared Trump supporters to fascists and communists. Google's top lawyer, Kent Walker, said Trump voters were motivated by fear, xenophobia, and hatred. He said Google should fight to ensure the populist movement is just a blip and a hiccup in history. Ominously, CEO Sundar Pichai pledged that Google would develop artificial intelligence tools against low information Trump voters. Unity. Now they want unity? No. They say that anyone questioning election irregularities is pushing conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories from the people who told us that Trump created a secret internet server to communicate covertly with Russia, that Trump's campaign manager secretly visited Julian Assange 3 times in the Ecuadorian embassy in London and no one noticed. Lectures about conspiracy theories from the people who gave us the Steele dossier and 4 years of the Russia collusion hoax. They say that anyone trying to pressure the Electoral College is undermining the Constitution. Do they think we've forgotten that this is literally what they did in 2016? Here's the article in the Washington Post that started it. The Electoral College should choose Clinton, wrote top lefty lawyer Larry Lessig. MSNBC's Joy Reid agreed. So did her colleague, Chris Hayes. Lawrence Tribe agreed. Paul Krugman, Michael Moore, E.J. Dionne, Steven Pinker, the ladies on The View, on and on. A self-righteous parade of establishment boobies, one after another glomming on to the Electoral College gambit. But actual Democrats backed it too. Hillary's communications director, Hillary's campaign chairman, and this from a Democrat member of Congress, quote, "I do think the Electoral College should choose someone other than Donald Trump to be president." After all that, they want unity? Biden wants legitimacy? Everyone can see this election wasn't fair. Mass mail-in voting, voter rolls riddled with errors, weakened security, the scandal of ballot harvesting, all of it pushed by Democrats vandalizing our electoral system for partisan advantage. Of course that wasn't fair. And we haven't even mentioned China's meddling on behalf of Biden. The alliance of bias, almost the entire media viciously hostile to Trump, zero chance of a fair hearing. Big tech suppressing information that would have hurt their candidate. It's obvious that wasn't fair. And despite all this, Trump won more votes than any president running for re-election in history. More than Clinton, more than Bush, more than Reagan, more than snooty Obama, who's spending his book tour smearing Trump voters as racists and Latinos as homophobes. So when the establishment says, shut up and move on, the answer is no. Of course, we will always support policies that advance the cause of positive populism, pro-worker, pro-family, pro-community, and pro-America, wherever they come from. But when the establishment says it's time for unity, the answer is when you acknowledge that Trump was a legitimate president, when you admit that Russia collusion was a manufactured conspiracy, when you apologize for 4 years of hate and division, endlessly investigating and undermining President Trump, constantly insulting and demeaning the millions of Americans who voted for him, then we might consider it. Until you do those things, it will be resistance, all the way, every day.